Greetings, welcome, and thank you for clicking. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing Company, supporting your journey with healing experiences, coaching, and encouragement for life's changes, challenges, and transitions. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Ask the Stones, offering spiritual guidance and encouragement for life's challenging questions. Greetings, welcome, and thank you for joining me for this episode of Ask the Stones. This episode's question comes from Justine. She writes, "How can I incorporate more fun and silliness into my life?" Justine, thank you for this fun question. Wow, what a great question. And I do have to say that the first thing that strikes me about this question, when I first received it, Justine, was, gosh, this is such an adult question. This is not a question that a kid would ever ask. And so this question, I think, really comes from being an adult and having an adult experience. I don't know about you, Justine, but when I was a kid, I don't think I ever said to myself, how can I incorporate more fun and silliness into my life? And this is the kind of question that we ask, I think, only as we become adults and maybe forget how to be fun and silly. When, as a child, fun and silliness are just a normal part of life. They are kind of like the default mode. So Justine, thanks so much for this really great question. Because it really allowed me to think about it. And truth be told, this is something that I myself have actually thought over the past, I don't know, maybe year myself, when I've thought, I feel like I haven't laughed in a while. And if you ever say, I feel like I haven't laughed in a while, yes, you have not laughed in a while and you need to laugh. Or if you're like, when was the last time I had a good laugh? You need a good laugh right now. So, so I realized, Justine, with this question, when I first read it, when you first asked it, I thought, gosh, this is actually something that I have kind of been thinking of myself. So, wow, sounds like I am too much of an adult at this point in my life. So, Justine, thanks so much for the opportunity to think about incorporating more fun and silliness into our lives. So how can we do that? Well, I really think that the first thing that we need to do is to remember what it was like to be a kid, because kids really just are fun and silly all of the time. It's their default mode. And so I think that for us, for those of us who want to incorporate more fun and silliness into our lives, I think one of the first things that is great for us to do is to just have a sense of awe and wonder about the world, to really get back into what it means to be a kid. And to me, this is to me, Justine, to me, when I think about being a kid, I think about a real feeling of awe and wonder at the world, and a real sense of magic about the world. It's definitely that sense of magic that I think is at the heart of awe, and that I think is at the heart of being a kid. And so I'm going to encourage us. And Justine, when I say encourage us, of course, I mean me too. As a matter of fact, with all of my answers to Ask the Stones and all of my readings and all of my Reiki and messages and encouragement, it's always for me too. And so this, of course, is for me too, Justine, to encourage us to recapture that sense of awe and wonder and magic with the world. I think for me, one of the best ways to recapture that sense of magic and wonder and awe is to get into nature. I think that nature is the greatest playground. Forget those playgrounds at McDonald's. Forget the manufactured playgrounds with the monkey bars. Yeah, those are lots of fun, and let's go swing on a swing, even as adults, for sure. But I think that nature is the greatest playground. And nature affords us the greatest opportunity for magic and fun and even silliness in our lives. And so, Justine, I want to encourage you to get out and enjoy some nature. And when you go into nature, to look at it through the eyes of a kid and the wonder that a kid brings to the world, to go in search of small things and to go with a mind of wonder and a sense of awe. I, as a kid, could spend hours walking along a creek and looking at salamanders and frogs and tadpoles and just the way that the current ripples in certain places. It was just always so awe-inspiring. Justine, I still do this as an adult. I will spend hours in nature walking like 50 feet, just exploring and observing and being captivated by this magical world. And so this is something that I still do all of the time to this day as an adult. And it really helps me to capture a sense of awe and magic about the world. This world really is so incredible. And I think that too often as adults, we get bogged down in adult things. I mean, to the point where we're asking the question, how do I incorporate more fun and silliness into my life? Or, gee, I think maybe I should laugh a little more. Kids never say that. Have you ever heard a kid say, I think I need to laugh more? Well, actually, probably some kid out there has said that, because kids can say some pretty incredibly aware and astute things. But kids are always laughing and being silly. And so capturing that sense of magic and wonder that kids have, I think is helpful for us in creating a sense of fun in our lives, that sense of magic. So Justine, I'm going to invite you to go out into nature. It doesn't have to be nature, but I do believe that nature is the greatest playground. But you can go out anywhere and just observe and watch and be inspired and in awe. Because I think it's that place of magic where real fun and silliness can come into our lives. The sense of wonder at the world. It's a little more challenging to, I think, have more fun and silliness in our lives when we're coming to it from a place of ho-hum, the rigor, the routine of life, the boringness of life, the everyday humdrum of life. I think it's a little more challenging to arrive at a place of fun and silliness when we are bogged down in the mundane of life, the just day-to-day grind that we as adults put ourselves through. And yes, put ourselves through. Maybe not necessarily so much that we are subject to. Yes, we are subject to it. And yes, we put ourselves through it. So I want to encourage us to first recapture that sense of wonder, and nature is a wonderful way to recapture a sense of wonder. You know, just sitting and watching squirrels can be very fun. I mean, to watch squirrels, they do some pretty funny things. Just to watch the wildlife in your backyard. So if a natural area is not accessible to you, just watching the squirrels run around in your backyard. Or if you live in the city, you got plenty of pigeons, watching some pigeons. Actually, when you think about it, when you picture pigeons, they are a pretty funny animal. The way they strut around, the way they poke at things and peck at things, the way that when you're in a city that you just can like accidentally kick them. They get so close and you don't even realize it. And their shape, yeah, pigeons are just really funny. So you can actually find some real magic and silliness in the world through nature, even in the city. So Justine, definitely recapturing that sense of magic and awe. Now, what else can we do? And I do want to say here, Justine, that having like a checklist of how to be fun and silly is kind of antithetical to being fun and silly, isn't it? So I'm going to say, okay, first, Justine, do this. Second, you might want to think about this. Third, I recommend this. That kind of goes against the whole idea of fun and silliness, right? Because fun and silliness is also kind of spontaneous. To really plan out fun and silliness almost defeats the purpose of fun and silliness. Yes, you can schedule fun and silliness and do it on purpose. And that is absolutely an appropriate thing to do. And we can get too far into our heads about anything and everything as human beings, including fun and silliness. So, Justine, when I give these recommendations, this checklist, if you will, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. Yes. So, getting that magic, because magic is something that is very intuitive, and intuitive isn't something that is really overthought, right? So, allowing your imagination to go and allowing your mind to take you to places and withholding judgment. I think that's a big part of bringing more fun and silliness into our lives, is withholding our need to judge, our desire to judge. We are so judgmental as human beings. And judgment does serve us. It keeps us alive. It helps us. You know, if we judge that we should get out of the path of the moving car, that car is coming towards me. I am judging that car is coming towards me very quickly, and I am judging that it may be in my best interest to get out of the path of the car. Yeah, get the hell out of the path of the car. Don't overthink that, but judgment does help us. It keeps us alive. It keeps us from pain and hurting ourselves and doing destructive types of things. So judgment can actually be very helpful, but it can also be destructive to us. And one of the ways it can be destructive is that when we overthink things, we are allowing certain parts of our experience, the adult part of us, to override the intuitive, magical part of us. It's in there, Justine, I promise. And I encourage you to work to release judgment, so that that fun and silly side, the magical side, can more easily show itself. It's not that it's gone, it's there. It's just been covered over by the judgmental adult. So don't be afraid to release judgment, and release judgment of yourself, Justine, and of things that you might find funny. I have been known in my experience to have inappropriate laughter. It's actually something that I was known for among my friends. Oh gosh, there goes Christian again with his inappropriate laughter. Of just finding the strangest things very funny and just erupting in laughter at them for seemingly no reason. And I was the only one who found any humor in whatever I was laughing at. As a matter of fact, Justine, in talking about pigeons, I actually did once have an explosive, inappropriate laughter session about pigeons. So there you have it. You too can have some inappropriate, spontaneous laughter about pigeons. Yeah. So, what are some other ways that we can incorporate more fun and silliness into our lives? Well, we can just laugh. Because there is a real thing called laughing yoga. Now, if you have not heard of laughing yoga, this is just starting off with fake laughter. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha, where you're not actually really laughing, but you're making the sounds of laughter. Ha 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 ha. And actually, if you do this long enough, it does turn into some real laughter. I know I was kind of a skeptic. The first time I heard of laughing yoga, I had a coworker present this to me years ago, and I was like, laughing yoga? Really? And she showed me this YouTube video, and I had to laugh. I had to laugh at the people who were fake laughing. And then I had to try fake laughing, and the fake laughing turned into laughing. And so, Justine, fake laugh, and it will actually most likely turn into some real laughter. So, thank you, YouTube laughing yoga videos, for instigating laughter. Of course, there are plenty of videos out there, not just laughing yoga, but other things. So don't be afraid to entertain yourself with some funny videos, some YouTube videos. You can Google funny videos. You know, during that bout where I was like, I feel like I need to laugh, I searched YouTube for some funny videos and for some comedians to listen to some stand-up. And how sad, Justine, that I was like, I need to laugh more. And I looked up YouTube videos. Like, wow, that is saying to me that I definitely needed some lightheartedness in my life at that time. And that it's something that to think that I need that means that I really need it. So what I'm saying, Justine, is that when you ask a question like this, you really need it. Because this is, again, the kind of thing that doesn't require a lot of overthinking. And so when we're asking this kind of question, how do I? The answer is that yes, you do need to incorporate some fun and silliness into your life. So what are some other ways? Well, yes, I really do want to encourage you, Justine, not to overthink this. So again, I could give you a checklist of things. They may or may not work for you, but giving a checklist kind of defeats the purpose. My biggest invitation to you, Justine, is to release judgment. So when you find things funny and silly, go with it. Don't judge it. Don't block it. Don't stop it. Like laughing at the pigeons, it is okay if you are standing on the street corner laughing at the pigeons. So what if people think that you are crazy? And in addition to releasing judgment, getting into nature and finding those things to be inspired by and in awe of. Because I do believe that when we come to our experience from a place of magic, it is so much easier to find fun and silliness in the world than it is to come from a place of boredom or impatience or judgment or just feeling overburdened by responsibility. It's a lot harder to find fun and silliness and spontaneity in our lives. So I want to encourage you, Justine, to work to release judgment and release judgment of what you find fun and silly. You may also want to spend time with kids. Kids are just naturally fun and silly, and they'll get you feeling fun and silly if you really engage with them and release that judgment and let yourself just enjoy their presence and their fun and silliness. It's going to rub off on you. You can turn things into a game. You know, gamifying things is really popular these days for a reason. I think that a lot of times in our lives, we really do get bogged down by the aspect of being an adult and by the responsibilities of being an adult and the judgments that come with adulthood. And so turning anything into a game can help to make it more fun for you. And a fun game, not a game that's all about competition and all about beating and, to the point where it's not fun. So turning things into games that are just fun and silly, but definitely, Justine, seeing that magic everywhere. Wonderful. Yeah. So, Justine, I'm going to pull a Celtic Dragon Tarot for you. You know, one of the ways that I bring more magic into my life is through things like pulling cards. I find a lot of times it's a very magical experience. And I find a lot of times that it does just really help me to release judgment about the world and about the magic of this world. Speaking of the world, the card that I have pulled was very clearly, now this card actually did not pop out. Oftentimes when I shuffle, I will have a card pop out that is jumping out and pretty much saying, me, pick me, it's me. This card did not do that. This card, however, very clearly did pop up into my hand, and it wasn't even a question. Is this the card? Is this not the card? Oh yeah, this is the card. Flip it over, and it is, Justine, the world. So what I'm getting from this card is that there is enough fun and silliness in this world to go around, and that the world is really where you are going to find your fun and silliness. And so what this is saying to me is that you actually don't have to go out and find it. It is all around you. Fun and silliness is everywhere in the whole world. And so you do not have to look far. You, Justine, I think are looking at this from the aspect of an adult, from the perspective of an adult. And so you're looking at fun and silliness with adult glasses. I want to encourage you to take off those adult glasses, take off those adult blinders, and see the fun and silliness that is all around you right now. The fun and silliness that is anywhere and everywhere in the world. It is the whole world, Justine. we have fun and silliness everywhere. And so this card, I believe, is calling all of us to recognize that the world is full of fun and silliness. And that all we have to do is recognize that, embrace that, and to participate in that, to be an active participant in it, to find the fun anywhere and everywhere. You know, something as simple as dancing, putting on some funny music, some fun music, and dancing is a great way to incorporate more fun and silliness into your life. And dancing is something available to you at all times, at any time. This, I think, is what the world is saying to us, that we do not have to go far. Fun and silliness are everywhere around us. So, Justine, I'm also going to pull for you an Archangel card, and let's see what the Archangels might have to say about this experience. Whoa. There it is. Actually, it has fallen onto the ground. There are two of them. Ha ha ha. Wonderful, angels. Thank you. Talk about magic. So, one of the cards that has popped out, Indigo and Crystal Children. Archangel Metatron says, you have a bond with children. In particular, you can help children who are sensitive. Now, what I think this card is saying to us, Justine, and all of us, is yes, spend some time with kids. Kids intuitively, naturally know how to do this. They know how to have fun. They know how to be silly. Go get yourself some kids to spend time with. That is definitely going to help. And the other card that popped out was Patience. Archangel Jophiel says, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. This is fascinating. Justine, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little puzzled by this card. Definitely not puzzled by the children card. I think that's wonderful that has popped out. But there's a message here in patience as well. And what I'm actually picking up from this is that, yep, there's someone out there who needs this card. So this card actually is a card for someone who is listening. So someone who is listening, you are the one who needs to hear this card. So Justine, the message for you and all of us when it comes to fun and silliness is definitely finding some children. But what I'm getting very clearly right now is that there is someone listening to this episode of Ask the Stones. And you are searching for some answers, some help, some assistance. I'm right now getting the picture of clouds parting, of a backlit clouds, so sun behind clouds. The clouds are parting. There is a sun behind the clouds. And the message here is, have patience. The clouds are parting. The clouds are moving. The clouds are separating. And know that it's going to take a little bit of time. It's not something that's going to happen right now, right away. Have a little patience, but trust that there is sun behind the clouds and that the clouds are parting. So for whomever this is for, I want to send you encouragement. Thank you, angels, for bringing this message to someone in need, that your dreams are blooming, that relief is coming, the clouds are parting, and to encourage you not to get discouraged about the time that it's going to take and is taking right now. I know you're feeling impatient. I know you're feeling like, come on, when's it going to happen? I'm getting the sense of some feelings of sadness and some feelings of depression. And this is something that you are feeling kind of impatient in wondering when things are going to get better. And I want to encourage you that things are going to get better. It is taking time. It is going to take a little bit of time, but things are going to get better. The clouds are going to part. The sun is there. I also want to encourage you that if you are feeling lots of feelings of depression, feelings of harming yourself or someone else, please, I ask you to reach out to a licensed mental health counselor for assistance right away so that you can get help while you are waiting for those clouds to part, while those clouds are parting. So I really want to encourage you to do that. I'm also, whoever you are, going to send Reiki right now too. I'm being called to send some Reiki. And for those of you who have listened and do listen to Ask the Stones, you're going to know that this doesn't happen. This is actually the first time that this has ever happened, where a card has popped out that is not for the question. And where I'm definitely being guided that this message is for someone, not Justine. So Justine, I'm sorry that we're getting some messages that aren't for your question, but I'm getting loud and clear that this is very important to happen right now. And so whoever you are out there, I'm going to send you some Reiki, and I'm actually going to send Reiki to all of us right now. And I'm going to send Reiki to us for some lightheartedness, for some fun and silliness, for some patience, and for some knowledge, some acknowledgement and realization and trust that the clouds are parting and the sun is behind those clouds. So please join me in taking a few deep breaths. And yes, whoever you are out there, I do encourage you to breathe as well. That is going to help you, to help calm you during this challenging time. Now, of course, as always, everyone, when I send the Reiki, if you don't want the Reiki to go to you, that is okay. It will not go to you. And you are, of course, welcome to set your own intention for the Reiki. Thank you. I send you blessings and best wishes for your journey. Again, I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing Company, encouraging your journey with Reiki, card reading, and coaching for life's changes, challenges, and transitions. And I encourage you to join me in my new Facebook group, Encouraging Your Journey. In this group, I am there to encourage you through your life changes, challenges, and transitions, and to encourage us to encourage one another. We all have such wonderful insights, such wonderful tips and encouragement for one another. And so I want to encourage you that if you have encouragement for others, if you have encouragement for Justine on her journey of more fun and silliness, please do include them in the comments below. There are so many ways that we can incorporate fun and silliness into our lives, and I would love to hear your recommendations. I would love to hear your tips for Justine and for all of us. So I send you blessings and best wishes for your journey. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ask the Stones. If you have a question for Ask the Stones, please send me an email at christian@standingstoneshealing.com or connect with me on Facebook at Standing Stones Healing. Thank you, and best wishes for your journey.